They do. Yeah. They come from the garden?
Yeah, in fact, I was in the garden, can you tell my dirty feet?
That's why we can't get the dirt off the.
No, yeah, never be dirty. Better than other things. I brought my book, brought my glasses, give me a minute. I'm a little tardy because I walked here. Doesn't quite even cooperate. Agenda right here before us, and I will call the Development Review Board's August 14th meeting to open it to order, yeah. And what we have here is on our agenda is to next to make any agenda revisions or adjustments. Do we have any additions or revisions to our agenda, things to add?
If you want me to give a little spiel about substantial damage and zoning,
I'd love to hear about that, Karen. I'm gonna put Karen, so that'll be after the Lynch Bean Road.
very short, yes.
I also would like to talk about, well, about just all of us considering reading these zoning regs. So I want to just have a quick discussion about zoning regs, but Janice after Karen, how's that? And yours is flood. Okay. So we're gonna review and approve the notification withdrawal. And Kylie and Susan are here to work to deal with, to give their comments, I'm sure. And why don't we go ahead as a board and talk about it, and we'll take comments, okay? So I read them, and you made the one change that I suggested.
Yeah, that was in there, just said it had been.
4 and on the town, that was me, the bugs were really tracking me on my way here. Okay, good, well, I was thinking, based on what Kylie had said in her emails, that it was withdrawn due to the flood, because that was what the letter said, and then what you said in the hearing, so I thought that might be a good edit as well, to withdraw the notice. We didn't withdraw
Yeah, it didn't say any
specifics of why.
specifics, but we can add that in there.
Well, I mean, I like that they're very just specific without a lot of discussion, because I just wanted to address that because it was brought up, and
It could be something we could add to the minutes for last meeting,
right, okay, let's look at yeah, we have the minutes,
which I know is later on. I mean,
right.
you do have a preference, and I mean, the notification withdrawal, I don't even know that that's gonna be a permanent document on the website. We just, the reason was we needed something to kind of send out to people for closure on this. And it's not a formal decision, so I'm not sure if what the procedure there is, if it's going to go on the website or not.
I don't think we've been, I mean, as long as I've been the zoning administrator, I don't think we've ever had a withdrawal, so we didn't really have any protocols for it.
Yeah, I mean, I did find one circumstance in 2018 where it was withdrawn in January 2nd, 2019, and it was discussed at the hearing that there was no need to write up findings of fact because the appeal was withdrawn and no evidence had been taken, there was no decision made, and the hearing was closed by 7:30. So I understand wanting some closure around it. I mean, I would just send a copy of the withdrawal to all of the interested parties, which is what I had to do at the beginning with the notification. But I just wondered. Yeah, typically, yeah, I just wondered if it was really
Could you share more about the decision to write it?
Yeah, or if it's necessary.
What was the? What was?
This
Which was the permit?
Bridges Loso hearing, Rob Bridges has submitted a letter withdrawing his appeal of Inda Loso's zoning permit 2018-32 for residence on the second floor per building on Surrey Road. Everyone moved to accept the withdrawal, and then they decided right after that there was no need. So it's partially that I didn't even, if I hadn't looked, I wouldn't have even known that this was written up, and it just seems like it, yeah, I don't know, it seems like something that should have been decided
Well, I think-
last month.
I remember that hearing and that situation, there was no other interested parties, it was just those two neighbors.
Oh,
I think that we made the decision, as Seth said, to send something out to all of the people, interested parties. And not all of them were attending at the meeting when you withdrew that we know of, so, and all the neighbors who've been warned, so it was. But we were just trying to make sure that we were thorough in our communication with our community and neighbors.
right.
That's the reason we chose to do that.
Right, yeah, and it does appear that there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 interested parties in this particular one. I get what you're saying, I guess if that's the case, then I would like it to mention the fact, when it mentions, you know.
Your
The
decision to.
withdrawal, it should explain why. But I also,
One of the.
yeah, it just seems like,
It doesn't seem like that's significant in an issue to write.
it's like when you withdraw something, then you're not, there's nothing to appeal, so there's no decision, there's no.
Right, and there's no decision here,
Right,
it
it's
just
sort of
is
like
using the same format,
right,
you know, and that's because.
But there is some precedent of this not happening in a withdrawal,
Right,
so.
one,
I don't know, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Karen, sorry,
So. I was thinking because there was several different hearings. To just have a timetable of. This is what happened, sort of, so that all the people that I was sending this to, because some of them were at one meeting, some were at other ones. That there would be like this running history.
Right,
So that was what my consideration was is, what I was thinking it might be useful, just because I'm the one that's setting it up to the interested party, so part of it was thinking that having some sort of chronological order of what happened without really putting a lot of the evidence in, and I was thinking about attaching the
the withdrawal letter,
withdrawal letter
Oh,
when I sent it out.
okay,
that was gonna be my next question, so.
That was my intention.
okay,
I mean, we could write, one of the things we could do is, you know, add into, if we're gonna continue with that, add that, you know, see enclosed withdrawal letter.
Okay, maybe under decision and conditions based on the development decision, the withdrawal is closed. And then you could say, under that, you could just say, attached is the withdrawal letter. Yeah, does that work for you? And then the draft and the withdrawal letter clearly states your intention. And nothing else in here.
but I think there's a couple other things that were not totally, like, I mean, the original continuance, like it says, was. Like, there was a lot of back and forth about how we both requested to postpone the March hearing. And I think if it was just because it wasn't warned, it probably would have been held before June. So,
Well, we decided, we were the ones as a board decided you guys said we want to postpone, and then we heard your postponement proposal.
yeah,
And the reason we decided to do it is my understanding, you tell me, was because we wanted to make sure it was properly warned and the website was a gray area because it's not in statutes, but it's a way a lot of people, so that was our decision, and this is our decision.
no, I understand that, I just mean that, like, the reason, for example, it would typically be postponed like a month. If it was just because of the warning, it was postponed until June to allow the applicant time to get his wetlands delineation, and that's just not in there either, so.
Right, but there's none of that in this decision, it's in all of the evidence, So there's nothing in here about all of the conversations, that's all in the evidence and in the minutes in which people can read if they're interested. This is just, like Karen said, a very specific.
I don't think
timeline.
any of the minutes though from the first one like really happened because that
No.
wasn't warned, and that's when it was like Peter requesting to postpone it so that he could do his wetlands delineation. I mean, that was actually before that meeting, we all came to that meeting kind of knowing we were in agreement about postponing it regardless of if it had been warned or not, I think, and then so just, to me, it sounds kind of like it was,
I think we can strike,
do you know what I'm saying?
I think we can strike the comment that it was postponed because it was inappropriately warned.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, that's fine, yeah, okay.
due to not being warned, so we just strike that one. So it was just,
Just the hearing was continued.
yeah, the hearing was continued.
Yeah, I can make that change.
You could just say per the appeal, you could say per the appellant and the, you know, applicant. Request, the hearing was continued.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the kind of get in and the jointly
Yeah,
agreed.
requested,
Jointly requested.
yeah. There we go,
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that, what's the main issue? Is there anything else? I guess I just wondered why Alex wasn't a butter and not Christine, unless I'm misunderstanding something, but they're also directly across the street from Peter.
In number 7,
Is that what you're speaking of number 7, just the definition of?
Yeah, it just says that
Butters.
there's one a butter and then neighbors, Vo and Christine, well, actually, I think it's Josie, it's supposed to be, I think that's a typo maybe. Isn't it?
She signed it.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's, okay, oh, so is it, so it's the Zoe is supposed to be Joe, that's what it is, okay.
It's.
Or is that-
It said VOE.
VOE, oh, okay. 'Cause I thought-
When she signed it,
Okay,
it
okay,
was VOE.
oh,
It didn't look like it,
okay, I just thought the owner was named was Joe. Okay.
no, I think she
Okay.
signed it VOE. I mean, I can run downstairs and get it.
But my point being,
Are they butters?
that's what I thought, but maybe I'm just.
I don't know.
This is.
And so number 6 will have something that the motion is included. In it or something as well.
Sorry, what was that?
You mentioned that you were adding something to number 6 to just say that the motion is attached, the withdrawal.
We're gonna do that at the end of the decision and conditions.
Okay.
Just so that it's downright.
I see.
So we can say, oh, I can read it, it's attached.
I do, I mean, I would still advocate for number 6 saying that the motion to withdraw the appeal was due to the flooding. Because number 5 says, you know, why the continuance happened, it just seems like. I'm not saying you have to say everything, but it seems like there should just be. This, it is a bit confusing that it says decision and conditions, but it's not a decision.
Yeah.
I don't really
It's
understand
the
that.
structural.
That was a proposed thing, yeah, I can see that.
Because it just seems like in this, it says there was no need to write up any findings because there was no decision. And the appeal was withdrawn. It's just, I mean, I've done this in a couple of different capacities at different levels, when you withdraw something. It's supposed to just be withdrawn.
Could change it to resolution.
Sure, yeah.
Well, you see right here, based on the Development Review Board's decision to accept the appealant's withdrawal, so, you know.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, it
I
was,
see.
it's a procedural thing.
I see, okay.
Yeah, it's just follow the format of a decision, noting that this isn't a decision.
Right. It just, shouldn't it say that this isn't a decision? I mean, I guess.
It says,
It's not a decision that can like be appealed.
it is closed, it says
Alright,
it is
okay.
closed.
Okay. I mean,
The
yeah,
appealing proceedings for this.
I mean, it's already started, I don't think it's just.
Karen, you still looking?
So there is a Joseph and Christine Sands,
That's what I thought it was, cause that's who lives there.
but it was, the name was VOE
What's his name, Chris?
and Chris.
Oh, Chris Thompson, that's.
No, well, there it says, maybe it was a typo, looked like a V and it was a J.
That's what I'm thinking.
She's gonna go get it.
Like Chris is short for Christine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's a typo on somebody's part, or a J that looks like a V.
That's what I said. Thompson Training J.
Did read the minutes, but I don't see a copy of them in here.
Yeah, I think, is that them over there?
In here,
Yeah.
these are,
And this
So
would,
that's less.
yes,
and this isn't something that would be posted online with the final decisions, because it's not a final decision.
Correct.
under ACN unit off.
For you. Probably it's easier to hear than us too.
It's already off, see?
No,
Nope.
no,
that's-
it's like a-
Yeah.
Resolve that before we
Move on.
finalize this, yeah.
Yeah,
Make sure
Might
our
as
name is
well.
correct in this.
I could see how it could be a V or a J, so it's probably Joe and Chris.
right,
Okay,
okay,
so
so
then
we'll edit
Christine.
that.
Okay.
There's no way to print here, right? So I could sign the decision, the non-decision decision,
Oh, no, unfortunately.
okay,
And they would be a butters though too, not
Yeah.
neighbors, very much. Yeah, right.
and their butters, not neighbors.
And in terms of the butter, it's like just property lines touching. Versus neighbor, it's like you're nearby, but not actually touching.
All right, so. Are there any other changes that we want to make? Mary, you have something to say? You gotta take yourself off.
Yes, I'm off of mute. No, it's been very interesting listening.
Yeah. So just to review, so on the third item, change it to the applicant and appellate's jointly requested the continuance of the hearing to a later date, the hearing is continued to June 12th. Made the change to change neighbor to a butter for Joe and Chris Sands. And at the end, added the full appellant notification to withdraw is included for reference.
And is there not, would it not be possible to add to number 6, just that the. On July 17th, Kaylee with his work submitted a motion to withdraw their appeal.
To the development review board via email due to the catastrophic flooding in Plainfield in July or something. Like it just seems like there's a lot more explanation for number 5 than number 6.
I'm fine with that.
Mary? You
I'm fine, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Yep,
great. With all that done, I'll take a motion if there's no more discussion to approve the amended notification of withdrawal.
I will move to approve the whatever.
Amended, yeah, the new amended, the motion to withdraw.
Thank you.
Really include the motion to.
It will include it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Kaylee.
I just wanted to make sure that it was gonna include the motion to withdraw.
For
With,
flooding, yes.
yeah,
Yes, we agreed.
okay, excellent.
Okay, then you wanna second it?
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
So there we have that, and I can print a copy off and sign it. Unless you just want, well, it's this one.
And well, I'll have to send it out to everybody.
Yeah,
But
so I can send it via email if you prefer. I can scan it, print it, sign it, scan it,
okay,
and
that's
send it to you.
great. Yeah, I can go back to Ken.
So it's not an emergency,
And,
and you'll send it to all of us.
yeah, I'll send it all, so I could even print it out and bring it,
Oh,
are you at camp next week?
I will be
Same
there.
camp?
Yeah, I won't be teaching, but I will be around.
So that I will be there to drop.
Oh, good, yeah, so why don't you bring it to me then on Monday and I'll deal with it then. Okay. And then I'll scan it once I sign it. And send it to you, so we have a digital copy, is that good?
Yeah.
And then I can always bring the
So I
signed
can
copy.
always, I don't have access, for some reason, we don't have access to the printer here because whatever.
Well, I will bring the physical copy here,
Okay,
but do you want a digital copy?
I'll take the digital copy.
That
And I can just print it at home and send it from there.
one, okay. Great, done with that, let's keep that one. And then here is the minutes that Kristen wrote up from the Zoom and from Mary's notes. Did you make, or was it, Mary, did you make notes?
yes, I did. I sent them to you all.
Right, I remember that, and then Kristen made our minutes, and do people have any comments or changes or amendments that they'd like to make to this? You need to be.
Sorry.
Thanks.
I don't have anything.
I don't have any.
Okay, Kylie, you have something you'd like to
It's
say,
Kaylee.
Kaylee,
It's
thank you.
okay, sorry.
Thank you, Kaylee.
It's happens all the time. What was I going to say? So the main, I did send a Google Doc,
Yes.
saw it, but basically. Where are those?
Did you need a copy to look at it?
Yes.
Do you need a copy to look at?
Yeah. Basically, was just the same kind of thing, I guess we were discussing before with is that it doesn't mention that the withdrawal was due to the flood.
Oh, right, that's right, so. Are withdrawing Enfield due to the complexity around the state west, and you'd rather that say due to the flood, which is what you came to tell us, right? Is that what you-
I think it's on the page 1 where it says, well, from recognized key people who read the letter they had sent to the DRB and asked this be accepted as notice of withdrawal of the appeal due to catastrophic flooding.
Well, see, on the back, it
Oh.
says that you would due to the complexity around the state line, that's where it's defined, and you're saying that's
Right.
not correct.
Well, the withdrawal letter mentions both of those things, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I can't, yes, does it?
I don't. We have to look.
Let me look at that.
Um,
But the point is that if this is the notes of what I said, I mentioned both of those things. I
Okay.
said, given the recent catastrophic flooding events and seemingly insurmountable challenges that our town is up against, you know, that it's both things, I
Okay,
guess.
so we
I
could just
see
say,
in what you sent.
Yeah.
You mentioned it both times.
so we should just
Yeah.
say due to the recent flooding and the complexities around, just add that into it.
Yeah, well, I would just say, I mean, the withdrawal letter was also I also specifically stated that I hope everyone takes seriously. Like the functions and values in the
Wetland.
wetlands determination, which one of those is important flood storage during these rain events. I'm not asking you to say all these things, I'm just saying that
Right.
I feel like there was a bit more that could be said there.
Yeah, I think we tend to keep our minutes without a lot of externalities, and since the letter is also evidence, I think. Because we have Peter saying thank you for the support he feels he's got, and you're saying you wanna make sure that your withdrawals recognize that it was due to flooding and the complexities around the whole statement.
And that I wanted the town to take seriously the functions and values in the state's final wetlands determination, which was part of this, you know, was a part of the evidence for this appeal. You know, because I think that one of the things that came out of this was sort of the challenges around something like wetlands, which is state regulated, but also something that is with, you know, you can review and under certain circumstances would care about, right?
And we do.
And you do, and I'm not saying you don't, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
and we're limited by state statute.
I understand,
That's the reality, that towns have lost
But we also
more
believe-
and more
right,
rights to make decisions around
yes,
the land. Because state statutes determine the guidelines, and that's why I said what I said, which take it to the state, because they're the ones that make those determinations, and all we can do is abide by those, unfortunately, not that we don't take it seriously, I mean, I do.
yeah,
All
no,
of us do.
no, and I think it's just that, like, what it raises an important question, just like for planning in general, because like with this. You're right, it's up to the state, but like the municipality is the one who authorizes, like, for example, the access permit. That allows like the initial construction, and so
Right,
it's a little bit hard, I don't
Well,
wanna
I
get into the weeds about it, but you know, it's
I
a little bit hard to kind of say. And so my point is that we withdrew this because of these circumstances with the catastrophic flooding is really hard for people having to go through. But I just would like the record to, you know, in some way mention that. The importance of some of the things that we were trying to
well, I think
to raise, if that makes sense.
yes, I do hear you, and.
And I also just feel like the notes from the prior week, like, left out a lot of stuff that I said too, so.
Yeah, well, notes aren't meant to be.
I mean, I just don't know, I mean, so, yeah, I mean, it's just like, Peter, thanks.
Right,
You know, it's like, and I said I appreciated all the information that people provided, but he's the only one who's noted as thanking people. And, or I'm sorry, I appreciate the hard work.
Can I talk?
Yes,
Right. So but our understanding is that this would be objective and truthful. So I just wanna make sure that everything that occurred is noted. Equally among Burmeister, Hope and Burke. To make sure that all the points were made, because it seemed very important for the note taker to mention every time Hope and Burke interrupted. That's important enough to include every single time. But I do feel like there's a bias happening here within the minutes, especially when Walfrid recognized Peter Burmeister, who think the DRB, the zoning administrator for their health control. That to me feels like a bias, so we're just hoping that these could be objective and truthful.
we discussed that with our administrative assistant. And in a meeting, as you know, in order to speak, you need to be recognized. And that was her choice to use that word, And when we asked about that, she said, we could change it if we want, but that's what happened, and so that, I did recognize Peter, and you did speak without being recognized. So that's why she chose to keep it in here. We could just strike the whole paragraph, and then we don't have to get into how much is said about anything.
I guess,
You know, because meeting minutes are meant to be a replay of a meeting word for word. There's no way that. We can just, as a board, decide what we wanna do. And so we've heard your comments, okay, so I'm gonna talk to my board right now. So Mary and Seth, where do you want to land in our meeting minutes recording?
I talked to Kristen yesterday about this. And we came up with the word interjected as opposed to interrupted.
Good job,
So that's a possibility.
okay. And Seth, what do you feel?
I don't honestly have a strong opinion about it either way, yeah,
I feel like interrupted is a strong word, it's used legally, as she said, but I think interjected is a way to just kind of. Change the language, which seems a little harder. So I like, Mary, your conversation with Kristen and coming up with another
Yeah,
term that means, you know, speaking without being recognized in a
Yep.
in a deliberative meeting, yeah.
that's fine with me.
You all right with that, Seth?
Yeah.
So we'll change that to interjected. So then Kylie's other request is that we add in what she spoke about, that of the withdrawal, the appeal due to the recent flooding and the complexities around the state wetlands determination. I support adding that,
I'm fine with that.
yeah,
okay? So we'll need Kristen to rewrite up the minutes with those amendments, yes?
Yes,
Okay, and she'll have these meeting minutes to see that, and then with those amendments, is there, do I have a
I would make a motion to approve the minutes with those changes, two changes.
Okay, you want to second that, Seth?
I'm actually curious what Kaylee would say before
Sure.
a second.
So we don't have a second, so go ahead, Katie.
I'm just curious, well, first, like, I don't know about approving something before you have the changes. Like what it's actually going to say.
We,
The change
would you
that-
like to would you like to read what, you didn't hear what I said? I can,
Okay,
I
well,
can
I mean,
read
I
that
guess
to you.
my main issue though is that like I would like it to include, if it says that. Peter thanked everyone for their hard work, and I said I also appreciate all of the hard work that went into it, I will propose that be included.
well,
And
I didn't, you know, okay, go ahead, finish what you want to say.
I understand, I don't really care about the interjected thing, but Peter. He did just start talking as well. And this happened in the last one. And it doesn't, I'm not really concerned about that, I'm more concerned about the things that were not included that I said.
Well, how about I read to you
So,
what we
okay.
made the changes, but you can hear what we've included, does that work? Okay, and I can see it's important you to feel heard,
Yeah,
so I want you to know we're trying our best,
thank
okay?
you.
Okay, and what we did, we changed that last paragraph to say. Mullendorf thanked attendees for their civility. Hope interjected stating that the appealants were not happy with the resolution, but are withdrawing their appeal due to the recent flooding and the complexities around the state wetland determination. So that's the sentence we changed. Everything else remains the same.
Can we add, she also stated that she appreciated the hard work that went into it?
Well, I,
That isn't in the transcript.
it is,
Yeah, I mean, I would support that.
Yeah. if it's in there, yes. 'cause
All
I-
the stuff I'm saying, yeah, this isn't, I mean, and the part right before when
Yeah, sure.
I interjected, I think Muller says that appreciate the civility as well as all the information that everyone provided, I think that's kind of important.
Okay, since it's all transcripted in there, do you just want to somehow highlight what we want to
Yeah.
include, Seth?
Yes, I can.
And then we can send that to Kristen, so it's just clear, instead of my scribble notes and all this conversation. Wanna read that, what we are gonna, how we're gonna change it, just so we can make a clear motion?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we want to put everything in, because that is pretty
Right,
Right.
detailed, but
Yes.
you know, so say, you know, hope interjected stating. That the appellates appreciate all the hard work that went into it. But are not happy with the resolution and are withdrawing appeal due to flooding and complexities around the state wetlands determination.
Recent flooding, shall we say?
Yeah.
Okay, great, okay?
yeah, and the only thing I also do think is important that I was trying to say is that, like, what I would just, you know, given the recent flooding and how that's connected to the role that wetlands provide, so I just, like, I guess, you know,
And noting the importance of.
the significance, yeah.
Significance of wetlands.
Is that in there too?
That is in
Yeah,
there.
I mean, I'm happy to have that in there.
Okay.
I have no problem with that, I'm just pulling
Mary?
that stuff, so I don't remember.
Why not?
Good
I
job.
would, I would appreciate that.
Okay, alright,
And
All
that
right.
sounds good. I think.
All right, you're gonna pull it out, and we've got a motion now to accept the amended with the transcript language that Seth read to us and cutting and
Yes.
pasting. Okay, and
I accept the amendment.
great, it's all in favor, say aye. So
I,
we've made those amendments, Kylie, so that you, Kaylee, so your words are heard
Thank you.
and on the record.
I appreciate that. I've just, can I mention one thing?
Yes,
The change that you made to the decision with the neighbors, if you can make that
yes.
to the notes. as well.
Yeah, here, let me just write that.
I'm sorry, I thought we already covered this.
Oh, that was in the notification we hadn't done it for the minutes, so changing neighbors to abutters for Joe. And-
Yes.
Just so it matches.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
okay,
We already approved this.
Okay.
all right,
I can, I'll take this with me and.
All right,
send it
please.
to Kristen, that is, that we want to have.
all right, good. All right, so we're done with the minutes, we're done with the notification. And we're gonna move on to the discussion of Devin Lynch's 79 Bean Road, appeal letter for variance for setbacks in forest ag land district.
And you're both welcome to stay, but don't feel like you need to, I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
79 Bean Road, is Melanie Sargent's former property that had a violation on appeal. And she passed away, and her son Devin has moved into the recreational vehicle. Has been there more than 180 days, and they wrote a violation letter. For that. His approach was not to appeal my violation letter, but to apply for a single family home there. In his application, he obviously can't meet the setbacks because of the size of the property. So he, his next approach was to appeal for a variance. And I think
But you denied him the permit,
Denied.
so now he's gonna appeal for a variance. Okay.
okay.
What is the size of the property?
So the property is 1 acre. It's on 79 Deep Road, it's like go East Hill and then Beans here.
Yeah.
Dollars there, it's right there on the left, it's a very narrow triangular lot, there's a picture of it. There.
Strathmore 18? No,
What's-
no, Duncan.
It used to be.
This one?
Yes,
Right.
a long time ago, it used to be.
Okay.
Okay, there's actually a more clear map. He has a hard time. You know, getting all the information together. Let me see if this far. So, a couple things that happened, they have not told the state yet for Melanie. So it's not clear who in probate, but clear who's the owner of the property. And Devin keeps talking about him and his sister Ashley, but there's also a third sibling, Seth, that I haven't got any documentation from. So.
How do we handle this? We need a legal advice, what you suggested.
I think that, I mean, you have to have a hearing within 60 days.
Of an appeal.
Of an appeal. Now, you can have the hearing and collect more information, etc.
Okay.
But, you know, to me, this one is, you're probably gonna want a site visit, probably gonna want him to stake out where. The home would go.
Mary?
I can't hear Karen.
I'll talk louder.
Well, Karen, I would feel, I just wanna step back again. You've got an appeal letter not from the property owner, but their son. And we know we know she's deceased, correct?
Yes,
But we don't know who the rightful property owner is. So
correct.
I think it's not clear to me that we can hold the hearing with an not clear property owner, right?
It does sound right, I mean, I assume there'll be some official, and I don't know if there's a will or
No,
something. Yeah, so I mean, that's gonna have to be
Well, that's what
sorted out,
always
in the areas, right?
when I was going through this process, right, it did not. Also, right now it's at court too.
So it just seems hard to wanna make a determination on a piece of property for an appeal for a permit when it's also in court because they're illegally residing on the property, so it just seems like the procedures of appeal process on a property that they shouldn't even be inhabiting. I don't feel like we can, it just seems like that's like staff, like what's the, where does the rubber meet the road in a sense, I don't know how they say that, like where are the legal jurisdictions like,
And I think that's why you would talk to Mike Tarrant, because he's the one that's doing the legal for the violation letter.
So again, that's me going to the select board and asking them to bring that question to him, which I'm happy to do, and I think that would be. You're saying by law, we need to schedule an appeal here.
Or I don't know, I don't really know, like, this is something new that I haven't experienced before.
Right, which law trumps which law,
Right.
right?
Like, the heirs have a right to do something with the property, the question is, who is the heir? And
That's probably not gonna be figured out for months, if not years, because it has to go through probate. So I don't know how he can even file for a permit when he's not the owner. Doesn't make any sense.
because you can be an applicant.
You can be an applicant for a permit even if you don't own a property?
Yes, if you can get the owner of the property to say it was okay, so this is the question, if we have an applicant. And it's the estate is the owner.
But the estate didn't.
but the estate is in probate.
Right,
think-
so that's not gonna be resolved for quite a while.
Yeah, it does seem, I mean, I don't see any reason why, I know lawyers cost money, but if that would help us. Like, give you cover, you know, and help resolve it so that we can say, I mean, just to say. You know, we can't deal with this right now until this is sorted out, so we have some kind of answer.
Right,
Seems
I
worthwhile.
think that you need, that
We need to know that that's the right response.
response. I did speak to Devin about wanting to build a house on a piece of property he didn't necessarily have the right to. And then, you know, so he produced, you know, Ashley to say that it's okay as one of the heirs, but there's this Seth that I only know about because I looked at the obit.
They're not the heirs until probate decides that.
True. So I think getting legal,
Mary, were you a lawyer once?
No, but I've been through some estate stuff before. And I've watched properties sit on vacant for a long time because it was still in probate or in the estate. So,
And this one's just so complex because it's a. An existing small lot, right?
yes,
And we have rules for existing small lots.
Right. there's no reason. If a person owns an existing small lot,
Yes.
you can develop an existing small lot to whatever's allowed in that area by getting a variance and you, like, for example, up on East Hill, the variance for the garage for the yurt house at the very end, where there was no other place to put the garage. So that's a variance with me, because it has to prove that it's the lot that's the difficulty, not the problem isn't that the problem isn't the person doesn't want a better view.
Right.
You know, I can't get a variance because I want a better view. So,
Great.
yeah, it came through, so I brought it to you and I figured that you guys need to figure it out. And also, one of the things is in the proceedings. That already happened in court. The judge is thinking that having a zoning permit and having a double wide or some sort of other structure besides a recreational vehicle might solve the problem. So it's also important to.
So what we need them to get is a solid waste permit first.
Well, he did have, yeah, I
wouldn't make a determination about a variance or permitting a small, a dwelling on there unless there could be.
But
the
Plainfield
state-
zoning regulations allow a permit to be given before the wastewater permit. But the permit can't be acted on until it has a wastewater permit. And he did, right, and he did have his septic system. Pump, but he also had the people who bought Ed Fowler's. Come up and. Check it to see whether it was working, and there is a septic system there that is working.
Didn't Melanie already do that too?
No, she did not. She never had it inspected,
Oh,
so she has a notice of violation on that.
but Derek did that.
Devin has-
Devin has a
well,
letter
he's-
from the septic company.
I
that
haven't
says
seen the letter
it's
yet,
functioning.
I have not seen the letter yet.
That would be, if we were gonna hold a hearing, that'd be important. I gotta see that letter.
Yes, I agree.
I'm also curious, what's this special hazard area that seems to run through most of the property? You can see that area, there's a green line that runs through the property. It's-
yeah, I
So-
saw that.
So because. Okay, special, you know, when we think about. Flood hazard zones, we think largely about like brooks and stuff, right? And we don't think about way up on Bean Road, but Bean Road, there's Bancroft Pond, and if Bancroft Pond lets go.
We're all sunk.
Let's go, then everybody gets flooded down that, whatever the name of that brook is called now. And anyway, so. But I've had Ned Swansburg, who's from the, Department of Energy Department, whatever, Environment.
Environmental conservation.
There's so many. And we have looked at that property and
You could have a little house right there.
pretty much.
Okay,
Because he also has to be 50 feet away from the brook, even if we weren't talking about the special flood hazard area.
which there's enough room if you put it right on the road. The house will
I
allow.
think about 30, I think we said 30 feet from the road. There used to be a mobile home there a long time ago, that the town got rid of.
Cause it was on part.
Yes, it was an eyesore.
Wasn't that grandfathered in?
What?
Wasn't it the mobile home that was there before, grandfathered in? Yes, no?
Remove, you can place a non-conforming mobile home with a new mobile home.
So,
So if he had, but it has to be within a year. It can't be 25 years.
Right,
It has to be there. So if someone had pulled out that mobile home and drove a new mobile home in there, then this would be
moot point.
right.
but right. But the mobile home that was on the lot was owned by somebody different than the people who own the property.
And you got neighbors who are very unhappy
Yes,
with the situation.
Very much so.
yeah,
Hadn't for years now. But it's, you know, it's in court.
yes. I don't understand why I'm sorry, don't understand why we're still talking about this. If somebody wanted to take a permit, apply for a permit on my property, could they do that? Without my permission?
No,
Okay, so why are we still talking about it if he's not the owner of the property?
there's a letter, there's an email that Michael Tarrant sent me.
Have I seen that? I don't remember this.
No, it's probably not, it's probably to me as the zoning administrator, probably not to you, I
And
haven't.
what did he say?
The question is, the heir question, like, is he the rightful heir?
Well, so, and he just said, my sister said I am, but
Right.
it's in probate court, so that doesn't.
Right, so could you guys talk to can you talk to the lawyer about
Yeah.
the solution to this?
Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Because you're gonna need, whatever you do, it's gonna have to be ironclad, because it's all tied up in this.
Yeah.
Big, huge. Situation.
So they had me speak to somebody else.
But the nice thing is, if there's actually a septic system there that is working, that is,
A big, good,
that's
positive,
a big positive. Because that's been in question for,
long time.
yes,
Well, ask him would you ask
yes,
him for the
Mhm.
letter?
I still have to deal with the violation.
Right, well, ask him for the letter.
I-
And I will, select board. I will speak to the things, got a lot of things on their plate right now, but I will reach out to the select board, now chairs, Carl, this is.
Did Jim resign, or did Carl become?
I don't think Jim is he still on the select board?
I don't know.
He is.
Jim, are you talking about Jim? He's
Yeah.
still on the select board. They probably have to have an organizational meeting now that they have new select board members.
They were talking about this a little bit at the select board meeting this week, just.
Was camping.
What?
I was camping.
I think they had like an executive session.
I will reach out to Jim and ask him, give me permission to talk to Michael Karen about this, and our question is. If there's no rightful heir, how do we proceed? Yeah, but what proceed with an appeal to your denied permit, you should have probably never even accepted the permit. Right?
Maybe,
What's done is done.
there's a caveat in here somewhere. I honestly thought he was the heir at the time, and it was when something. Like misrepresentation to me, you know, I had to take people on their face stuff.
In probate. I know, it's. Okay. Permit. Denied. Then there's an appeal.
But I think because the judge and his violation thing was the one that was sort of promoting like, oh, if you got a permit, you got a house on there, then this would be a moot point. Is this was what was said during the hearing,
So the judge would like to see a house on there?
that it would make the RV go away,
Right,
but the judge doesn't understand the whole.
That's kind of a side thing, just make that case easier.
well, I think he's like, these guys have the right to live on their property.
You're right. They have a right to live on their property when it's their property. And if they can get a variance and can meet the wastewater situation.
Right. But
Yeah.
is better from the septic pumping company. Of that, it's not a wastewater permit.
No.
But at least eases our concern that it's failing, there's nothing keeping waste out of the river.
I'm taking it on Devon's word, I haven't seen the report yet.
Right. No. Okay, I will do that. Okay,
Thank you, Janice.
and probably don't need any of this, right? All right, anything else on that issue? Okay, then, we'll move on to the floods. Karen?
So, as you all well know, but I was planning on being finished in July 30th. Unfortunately, with some situations that happened with a person who was possibly we were gonna work together, got a promotion, etc. So I decided to stay on,
Here or?
in our other job.
Yeah.
So anyways, here I am.
You're still here
Here
because,
I am.
are you still in new school too?
Yeah, I start there next week. My retirement is not working out. Okay, so one of the things is we have inundation regulations and we very rarely use them because
We rarely need them,
we
right?
really don't need them, and so, but in order to have flood insurance for the whole town, you have to have inundation regulations. And so most of the time when people come in and they say, I wanna put in a deck, and I explain to them that you're in a special flood hazard area, and to put a deck in, you know, or you can't, you know what I mean, like. They always just look, nope, I don't need a deck. Because, you know, why do you wanna put a deck in a special flood hazard area? So. When you have a flood, my job as a zoning administrator is to go around to all the houses that are in the special flood hazard area. And determine whether it has substantial damage, which is 50%. Of how much repairs it would cost to get it back to. Before the flood. And if you're in the special flood hazard area, if you want to do that, you have to like. Go up, you have to like elevate the house, you need to move all your
Utilities.
utilities and everything up over, right? And then what's different is you never have to go for a permit to put in a furnace. In zoning, but you have to, if you're going to do an improvement. On your house in the special flood hazard area, you need to come for a permit. To to repair or replace. So most of our houses that we have in the town of Plainfield right now are definitely got substantial damage. You know, they're going through the buyout, but I still gotta go talk to them, I still gotta, you know, say, you know, you have a substantial damage house. You know, if you wanna repair it, you need a permit. Okay, so, I mean, that's basically what I've been doing a lot of.
You've been going and shaking their hands or even like writing letters?
I've walked around, because most people are not around here, I've been emailing them.
Yeah, well, they're not living in their houses right now.
Emailing them, talking to them on the phone. You know, trying to get a better sense
Of
of,
where they probably don't even know.
right, and some, you know, and so, yeah. And so everybody's like, we're now moving out of shell shock. You know, like now when you're talking to people, they can like sort of say, oh yes, there was 2 feet of water in my, you know, on the first floor, you know, it depends, like, there's a big difference between what you're seeing on Brook Road. Like your mobile home went down the river, the house went down the river, then there's the ones that are here on Brook, you know, those 2 right there. That are, you know, basically got debris all the way up to the, almost the ceiling, you know. And stuff like that, so. But then there's houses that are totally wiped out that are not in the special flood hazard area, which,
Like Jenny B's or what?
well, the orange house.
That's Jenny.
Oh, I know it is. You know, Campbell's house, but anyways, but that was back, you know,
Or
when
that was a horse.
I'm talking about when I was a kid. Houses are stuck, so like that house isn't it, but, and the house across from
The apartment.
The Hudson Avenue.
Yeah, my brown house.
That house is not in the special flood hazard area, so we have these really old antiquated maps. And so, you know, so I'm only writing letters and doing substantial damage for the houses that are in special flood hazard area, and that would be the ones that are on Brook Road. Mostly Brook Road. And down here in the village. So, it's been very time consuming. And it's just heartbreaking to like. See people's houses just washed away.
I tried like
Oh, you got,
a road that's washed away. It's gonna get washed away again.
well, Route, I can't even imagine what they're doing at the Route 2 bridge, they have so much stuff. I mean, I have no clue, I mean, there's all that silt that they dredged out of the river. So anyways, I'm just saying that like
So
that's
you're
not,
going by these antiquated rules?
well, they're pretty much the same as the next one.
Oh, they are.
Well, we'll have river corridor. Now we'll have floodway, special flood hazard area, and then with this new regulations, we'll have river corridor. So-
Which would have that included people like the Heartbreak and Jenny's and the Brown House and everybody on Hudson Avenue and everybody on the brook?
I have the problem. The river corridor is about 50 feet
I think so.
to the side of 50 feet.
Okay.
So, yeah,
And that Brown House is probably just right on the edge of it. It's
you know,
on
like
other side
the
of
brick house wasn't in, because it's the structure, not the land. It's got the structure.
You mean the ones on Mill Street?
Yeah, like on Mill Street, yes. Well, no, what's the one?
Owen's, what next door to Owen Bradley?
Owen's not in it, Owen's not in it. The nice brick house beside Susie's.
He's not,
Cottage.
he's more than 50 feet from the brook.
Well, but the thing is, where the special, we're not talking river corridor yet.
This is ridiculous. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, but I mean, it's becoming more and more.
Rules don't fit reality, and that's one of my frustrations being on the
Well,
zoning board.
But you have to, the thing is we have to allow, we've developed rules. No, we've developed land in the floodplain where the water is supposed to be going. And
Well, why should you be particular about only talking to people within these certain
because I'm doing my
parameters?
job as a zoning administrator.
And then it's up to the Baptists to go to the other. Then amend the minutes.
Oh, well, I'm not mucking, I'm just telling. I'm telling your house is blanked. And I'm only laughing out of frustration at how hard it is to try to explain to somebody that.
They
Yeah,
have
your
one
house-
more piece
your
of
house-
paper, they have to pay for.
Right, and then they're gonna have to elevate their house, and then they're gonna have, and then, and they're just sitting there, shell shocked.
People won't pay you with that
and-
last year.
And so, to me, I was really unaware of this particular responsibility as the zoning.
Are you training the zoning administrator?
No,
I thought we got one.
I'm still being one,
I thought we got one,
We
we
don't.
always hired one.
no. So, it's
You didn't wanna give it up?
No, she didn't want it,
No, I thought we hired her.
no, she decided she couldn't do it,
What?
yes,
I didn't hear that.
yes.
Oh,
And also, this is not a good time for a new zoning administrator, like, it's really not it's not a time for somebody. Cause,
step into place.
right, cause that happened to Marshfield, she was new zoning administrator last year when the flood and they had the flood up there, so, yes, it's just,
I'm sorry to hear that.
it's just a lot, it's time consuming and it's heart wrenching because, I mean, I grew up in this town, so like those. Like it's gonna be hard to be seeing all those houses gone and, we will be new. Over how Renee Grave feels, I mean, it's lived there for 60 some odd years and I can't, you know what I mean, like. It's people's homes. Now they have to find new homes, not that they even wanted to find a new home, so. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. All right, let's go on, away from the, why the special flood hazard. Map makes no sense.
Thank you. Alright, so thinking of zoning regs, I mean. We're functioning with 2011 zoning regs that when I joined this board over 12 years ago, right? We worked on trying to update them and we still haven't updated them. We still haven't gotten new zoning regs and I know Karen that you guys have been working diligently on it, so. the
I
planning
don't,
commission-
I'm not really sure why it's in the stall path.
Well, what I read on the website, on the planning commission's
I don't,
webpage,
that Will needs to update that.
is that you guys wanna take it to public comment and have people vote on it in November, is that? But with the town and the kind of situation is that even real, are people gonna come out for a hearing about zoning regs? Karen?
If I had my way, we go for interim.
So I would, Mary, I know you're not looking at us, or maybe you are over there, but Seth and Mary, I'd really like to go to the select board and ask, first of all, I think we should both, all of us, take a look at this draft,
That's not the one you want that one,
this one.
and I'll forward it to all of you because it's not on the website, which.
It's not,
No,
oh, this is the one on the website,
right, the one that one has the cannabis language in it,
but why is it so fatter?
because it has
That's
all
comments.
the comments, so if you wanna figure out why something got changed.
Oh.
You look at that one, if you wanna read what it is now,
Oh, good, it's less reading, so
So
I,
you'll send that to us, Karen?
yes, I can send that to you.
so I would like to
Thank
make
you.
our job to help this town move forward with our zoning regs. By reading these and then coming back next month and making a proposal that we we write a letter to the select board and ask them. To make them interim zoning regs so we can function with these very hard, years worth of effort. To update our zoning regs from 2011 to today. So that we can function under new regs, and then hopefully, are they gonna make more sense? Karen, should we even go through that effort? You're the one who has to enforce it.
Yeah,
A lot of it's the same boilerplate. You know, there's not a lot of movement and lots of different things in terms of variances and that. What's different is that, you know, that adding river corridor language which is really gonna start, you know, development is gonna not be in this
It's important.
space, which is really important. And it also means like, people need to learn you can't pile your wood in the river corridor, you can't, you know, like there's, like you really, in the river corridor and a special flood hazard, that whole thing, flood hazard area, you just can't have stuff there. You know, and I mean, yeah.
And is that gonna be your job to enforce that, go around and see if people are stacking their wood in flood areas?
I love violations, it's my favorite, you know.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last comment,
I
Jen.
was being sarcastic about, the thing is about. Our town has a history of. Not. Like
Enforcing
I can-
regulation.
Well, no, I can write all the violation letters I want. And if the town chooses not to enforce my violations. People don't change. This is the first, this current one that we're doing right now.
With Bean Road,
With Bean Road is like the first time. In a long time. That the town has taken a action. In court on a violation. The rest of the time, it really counts on the people being good neighbors and good
haven't that mostly worked in Plainfield?
on and off. So, I mean, that's the difficult thing. Getting people to come in for permits is difficult too. You know. And when you look at, when you do look at the. What's permitted and what's exempt in the floodway special. You know, that's really that's new meat in the regulations. Cannabis is new.
About conservation stuff, they wanted to put, the Conservation Commission wanted a lot of additional language into it that stalled it a couple of years ago. Is that language in there?
Probably not.
I mean, if you can, then I'll highlight the areas that's have been changed when you send it around, I mean, that would just.
Well, that's why I'm just.
That would be very helpful to me. Thank you,
Right,
sir.
What I'm saying is this one. Talks about all that, but it doesn't have cannabis, the cannabis language is new,
Okay,
okay?
Yep.
So this has all changes and stuff.
so that's the red line for,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
okay,
and this one is the one that has cannabis language,
they're the same otherwise.
otherwise,
Okay.
yes,
So you're gonna send them both to these guys, the
The ones on the website, right?
yes.
those ones on the website.
I mean, there's some, like, people have small lots in forest and ag. We changed the setback from 50 feet to 25. Because people who have a 1 acre lot in whatever,
And did they have, they had the 1 acre lot before the forest and ag determination, right?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm so, well, 1 acre lots showed up for lots of different reasons.
Okay,
I've got, excuse me, I've got to step away for a moment. I'll be back.
okay, well, that, I just feel like we could just kind of struggle along as we have, or we could try. To bring the town, bring us forward somehow.
I think it would be good to, probably do the interim, even though it's, basically when you do it that way, it's through the select board, it's not through like mass.
Public comments,
Yeah.
but that's what we're functioning under 2011.
Yeah, so if it's interim, then we could start using them. And then we could go
I'll be
from-
honest that I'll be honest that I put the kibosh on it because I felt it was irresponsible to keep going without cleaning cannabis.
Well, see, these were adopted, because by the town or by the select board in 2011.
Unless it says an interim, it's by the town.
Okay, so the town adopted them.
Yeah, but again, in the interim, that's just, you can do that and then have the town adopt them still, so it doesn't mean that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I'd like to start functioning under newer rules that are more relevant to the world we live in today. And then when, I mean, our town is in a pretty difficult situation right now. And I'd be happy to, I'm hoping we can have better conversations around all of this, you know. Wetland designation, you know, cutting forests on private property. Floyd Farmer and I were having that conversation today. You know, I've seen that really contribute to the.
Why they cut down all the trees on Route 2 on that corner, who knows what that was all about?
Oh, don't you think it might have actually accelerated the deterioration of the road 100 yards downstream? Well, because on private property, you can do whatever you want.
No, but that was the state,
No.
did it, right?
I don't think so, they just did it. It was private property, it was. I don't think the state had anything to do with it.
The other, at the
Treasure farm.
no, I'm talking about like, yeah, that was a problem, but I'm just saying the state came in and they cut down the trees at the rest area.
They were afraid it was gonna fall on the road as well.
Well, now it's falling in the river.
Like trees don't pull down the bank.
Yeah.
It seems like we're getting stupider. Sorry, we are on the record.
That's adjourned.
For the record, can I motion to adjourn, are we good?
Yes,
Yes. I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bye.
Bye, Mary.
Bye, Mary.
Bye.
No.
Figure out how to leave.
Like all the culverts that were put in, they're not big enough.